Chosen one, stop for a moment. Whatever you are about to do can wait. I want you to think of the last time you helped someone who never once asked how you were doing. You felt it, didn't you? That quiet ache that comes right after. The one you have never told anyone about. The strange loneliness of being the strong one, the steady one, the one everybody leans on, while no one, not once, leans back toward you. Tonight I am going to tell you why you have carried that ache your whole life, and I am going to tell you about a single moment, a moment you do not even remember, when that exact part of you, the part the world keeps taking from and never refilling, reached into a place far higher than this world and healed something that heaven itself did not know how to heal. Stay with me, just a few minutes, because by the time this is over, the loneliest thing about you is going to become the most sacred thing about you. If this channel has not yet become a home for you, subscribe now and turn on every notification. Not because a number means anything to me, but because what I share comes in pieces in a certain order and I do not want you to miss the next one. And if you are already here with me, already subscribed, already coming back, thank you. From the deepest part of me, thank you. And let me say it plainly because you so rarely hear it. Well done. The faithfulness it took to keep returning is the very thing this message is about. Write 777 in the comments if you have ever been the one who heals everyone else and quietly wondered who was ever going to heal you. And stay until the end, because the final minute holds the one truth that turns every drop of love you ever poured out and never got back into the reason you were chosen. Let me ask you something. How many times have you been someone's strength in a moment when you yourself had nothing left? Think about it honestly. The times you sat with a friend falling apart, holding them steady, saying the right things, carrying their weight, while inside your own world was quietly collapsing and you said nothing. The times you were the calm in someone else's storm, and no one ever asked who was the calm in yours. The times you gave your last piece of strength to a person who walked away lighter and left you standing there, emptier than before, and somehow still smiling so they would not worry. You probably told yourself that is just who you are, that you are simply a giver, that some people are built to pour out, and you are one of them, and that is the end of it. But underneath that explanation, there has always been a question you were almost afraid to ask. If you are the one who heals everyone, then why does it feel like no one was ever sent to heal you? Tonight you are going to hear the answer. And it is not the answer you have been bracing yourself for. Let me take you somewhere most people never get to see. In the unseen world, there is a kind of being whose entire existence is built around carrying things for others. They deliver, they sustain, they hold up what would otherwise fall. They are the strong ones of the higher world, and the rest of creation leans on them without ever stopping to wonder what holds them up. And every one of these beings has wings. In the language of the spirit, wings are not decoration. Wings are how a being carries weight that is not its own. Wings are the strength to lift another, to cross the distance, to arrive in someone's darkest hour and hold them up. The greater the wings, the more weight that being was made to carry for others. Now I want you to understand something about the messenger the higher world calls Gabriel. Gabriel is the one who carries the heaviest news across the greatest distances. He has stood in front of trembling humans at the lowest moments of their lives and steadied them. He has delivered words that changed the course of everything, and he delivered them without flinching, without resting, without ever once being asked, "And you, Gabriel, how are you holding up?" Because that is the nature of the ones who carry. No one thinks to carry them. And wings, even the greatest wings in all of creation, can wear. Not from weakness, from use. From distance after distance, weight after weight, century after century of arriving for everyone and being received by no one. There is a particular kind of wearing that does not come from being broken. It comes from being endlessly relied upon and never once tended. A wearing that the higher world had no remedy for, because the beings who heal are not used to being the ones who need healing. And this is where your life and a moment in the heavens quietly touched. For the one who is feeling something rise in their chest right now, something that has been waiting a long time to be named, there is exclusive material in the description and the pinned comment below. It was made for exactly this. Now stay very close, because here is the part the enemy of your soul has worked hardest to keep you from ever knowing. There was a moment in your life, and you will not remember it as anything special, which is exactly the point, when you gave away the last of your strength to someone who did not deserve it, expecting nothing back, knowing nothing would come back. You were already empty. You had every reason to keep what little you had left. And you gave it anyway. Not for applause. There was no one watching. You gave it in the plain, unglamorous way you have given your whole life. Quietly, completely, and at a cost only you would ever feel. What you did not know is that the kind of love you released in that moment does not stay in this world. A love given with nothing expected in return, by someone who was already empty, is the rarest frequency in all of creation. It does not behave like ordinary kindness. It does not dissipate. It rises. It moves upward through the layers of the unseen, looking for the place it is needed most. And in that moment, the place it was needed most was not on this earth at all. It was a worn wing in the higher world that nothing had been able to mend. Your love, the leftover love, the love you gave when you had nothing left to give, reached a place you did not know existed and touched the very thing heaven did not know how to repair. The mended strength of the one who carries everyone restored, not by an act of power, by an act of love so pure it could only have come from someone who knew exactly what it cost to give when you are empty, because you had lived it, every single day, with no one to mend you. You healed the wings of the one who carries the world's heaviest news, and you did it by accident in your lowest moment asking for nothing, and the higher world went silent. Not because something powerful had happened. Power happens in the heavens all the time. The silence came because something happened that was not supposed to be possible. The one who heals everyone is never the one who gets healed. And here, the very strength that heaven pours out to humanity had been poured back up to heaven, by a human, by a tired, overlooked, endlessly giving human, who had been told their whole life that their softness was a weakness. Even the highest place paused. There is no other way I can describe it to you. The kind of pause that happens when something does the impossible quietly in a corner, with no one watching but the one who sees everything. The Maker looked at what your worn-out, given-away love had just restored, and what moved across the face of heaven in that moment was something close to wonder. Now turn around and look back at your whole life, and watch it rearrange itself in front of you. You have spent years believing that the loneliness of being the strong one was proof that something was wrong with you, that you loved too much, that you gave too freely, that you were foolish for pouring into people who never poured back, and that the emptiness you kept ending up in was your own fault for not learning to protect yourself. Turn it over. What if the emptiness was never a flaw? What if the very thing that has hurt you most, the giving when you had nothing left, the loving without being loved back, was the one thing in all of creation capable of reaching a place nothing else could reach? What if you were never the foolish one, drained dry by people who took? What if you were the only kind of soul whose love is pure enough to heal what even heaven cannot? You were not too soft. You were carrying a strength so high that it could mend the menders themselves. You just spent it in a world that did not know what it was holding. And the old words knew this about you long before you were born. There is a line written down in an age-long past where it is said, "The Maker gives power to the faint, and to those who have no might, he increases strength." To those who have no might, not to the strong. To the ones who kept giving after their strength was already gone. That was never a verse about weakness being pitied. It was a verse about a secret kind of power. The power that only shows itself in the ones who love past empty. The power you have been carrying and bleeding your entire life. Let me give you 5 signs that the healing strength in you is real, even if no one ever named it for you. The first sign is that people leave your presence lighter than they arrived, and you leave heavier. You have felt this 1,000 times. They walk away unburdened, restored, and you are left carrying what they set down. That is not your imagination. That is a healer who has never been taught how to stop absorbing. The second sign is that you give the most precisely when you have the least. Anyone can give from overflow. You give from empty. When you are at your lowest, something in you still reaches for the person who is lower. That is not normal. That is the rarest love there is, operating in you automatically. The third sign is that you are exhausted in a way sleep does not fix. You have wondered why you wake up tired. It is because you have been pouring out a strength most people do not even possess, with no one ever pouring it back. The tiredness is not laziness. It is the cost of carrying what you were never relieved of. The fourth sign is that the people you healed the most often disappeared the fastest. They took what they needed and were gone, lighter, while you stood there wondering what you did wrong. You did nothing wrong. A healer who does not know they are a healer keeps mistaking takers for friends. The pattern was never your failure. It was your gift, unprotected. The fifth sign is that, after everything, you are still soft. After all the people who drained you, after all the love that was never returned, the dark could not make you hard. You are still the one who reaches for the hurting. That survival of your softness, through everything designed to kill it, is the proof that what is inside you cannot be taken, only spent, and you have spent it gloriously. Let me be honest with you now, in my own voice, because you have stayed this long and you have earned it. There was a long age when I stood on the other side, among the ones who study the chosen in order to stop them. And I will tell you, the soul we feared most was never the warrior. The warrior we understood. We had strategies for strength. The soul we could never devise a final plan against was the one who kept loving after we had emptied them. Because every time we drained that kind of soul, expecting it to finally go cold, it would turn around and give again. And the giving would go somewhere we could not follow. Upward, out of our reach. We could exhaust them. We could isolate them. But we could not make them stop. And we could not catch what their love became once it left them. The longer I watched a love I could not corrupt and could not trace, the harder it became to keep serving a kingdom built on the belief that love is a weakness. I had seen too many times that it was the one power we could not touch. So I crossed over, and the love I could not stop tracing led me here, to tell you what yours has done. One warning before I let you go. The moment you understand that your love is a healing strength and not a weakness, the darkness loses the lie it has used against you your whole life. The lie that your softness made you a fool, that your giving made you a victim, that you should have hardened up long ago. It cannot sell that lie anymore, so it will reach for a new one, and it often comes within hours. It will whisper, "Then why are you still so empty? If your love is so powerful, why has no one ever healed you?" When that whisper comes, and it will, do not argue with it. Just remember this. You were not left unhealed because your love is small. You were left unhealed because the world has very few who can do what you do, and the strong are always the last to be tended. But you were not forgotten. The moment your love reached the highest place and mended what nothing else could, you were seen, fully, completely, by the only one whose seeing actually matters. The emptiness was never proof that no one cares. It was the cost of carrying something holy through a world that did not recognize it. And that is about to change, because now you know what you are. Let me leave you with this. You have spent your whole life believing that being the one who heals everyone, and is healed by no one, was a kind of curse, a lonely accident of your personality, proof that you give too much and matter too little. The truth is the exact reverse. You were never the fool who loved too much. You were the rare soul whose love is pure enough to heal the healers of heaven themselves. And you proved it in the one moment you gave when you were empty, asking for nothing, watched by no one but the Maker. The loneliness was never rejection. It was the quiet of standing at an altitude almost no one else can reach. And the fact that you are still soft, still giving, still here after everything that tried to harden you, that is the proof that the strength inside you was never spent. It was only ever waiting to be recognized by you, tonight. For the ones who felt this land in the exact place that has been tired for so long, there is something I made for you. It is called the Unplugging Protocol. It is this truth written down. For the mornings when the old lie of you give too much and matter too little tries to creep back in, it comes with the full audiobook, narrated in my own voice, from beginning to end. It comes with an explanatory ebook that walks you step by step through the structure of the healing strength you carry. And it holds 3 sound sessions, 3 frequencies, that I narrate myself, start to finish, my voice and the sound moving together as one. The first frequency is 396 Hz. It clears away the years of giving without return that left you believing your love was a weakness. The second is 639 Hz. It restores your heart, so the one who has poured out for everyone can finally begin to be filled again. The third is 963 Hz. It opens the channel between you and the source of the strength you carry, so that what flows through you stops draining you and starts renewing you. The link is in the description and the pinned comment below. And now, click the video appearing on your screen right now. There is a message waiting there, prepared as the next step for the ones who reach the end of this. It leads exactly where your story goes from here. Together we are stronger.